Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. This is Hoshi General Ntai Munye, FISA President and the Prime Minister candidate. Today, I'm going to explain to you about these constitutional monarchies. This is in response to the problems that the people of South Africa are facing. And I must say to you, this is not only in South Africa. The rest of Africa and other continents are facing similar challenges, whereby ordinary people have taken over power as presidents, and in return, the people are suffering. Now, you look at the problems in South Africa, we moved from triple challenges to over 50 challenges. This is because we deployed the wrong soldiers. You look at the people who are presidents. You can talk about all the three top political parties. They are not traditional leaders. They are not academic leaders. They are not professional leaders, or they were not professional leaders. They are not religious leaders. They are not community leaders. They are not from the military or from the police, where they learn discipline, where discipline is pummeled to an individual. So you look at all the categories of leadership, they are not there. They are not the business leaders. Some of them just joined businesses now when they are in politics, using the political power. Now, in countries like South Africa, it is important that we understand what can be the solution to the problems we are facing. We are saying there are four problems in South Africa, four main problems in South Africa. One, the capitalist system. The nature of the capitalist system makes the poor more poorer and the rich people more richer. This is what a DA says with regard to neoliberal policies. And when you collapse borders, when you allow everyone to just flock to the country, what EFF is advocating is the same as a free market, where people just come in and out as they like. So those are different languages meaning the same thing. And this is what ANC is currently giving the people of South Africa. We are under the capitalist system, which is making the elite more richer and the poor more poorer. That's why they have shares in different companies, and that's why they kick out tenders to enrich themselves. You look at tender jobs, there are about 5 million tender jobs. Jobs in security, jobs in a cleaning sector, jobs in maintenance sectors. All those jobs can be converted into permanent jobs. I'm talking 5 million jobs that can benefit the people of South Africa with minimum wage of 12,500 per month. So now let me talk about this constitutional monarchy. As FISA is freedom in South Africa, we are saying for South Africa to thrive, we need to implement the constitutional monarchy. Now, constitutional monarchy, basically, it takes the kingdoms and position them above politics. This is the British model. This is the Arab model. So many of the successful countries, they are using this kind of model, where the traditional leaders are on top and the politics are at the bottom. Let me deal with that. Constitutional monarchy, basically, it means the kingdoms are sharing power with the government. So you have what you call limited monarchy. It's the same as constitutional monarchy or parliamentary monarchy or democratic monarchy. So basically what we mean there is that the king doesn't have the full control, full power to do as he likes, right? Because in situations where the king just does as they like, We call that absolute monarchy. Absolute monarchy, which means one king is in charge. He's deciding about the resources, channeling them to wherever he wants. There's no accountability. He doesn't account to anybody. But in a constitutional monarchy, you are bringing kingdoms together. In South Africa, we have a minimum 26 kingdoms that will form a united kingdom. Now, you give them equal powers, equal opportunities, equal resources to protect the land, minerals, to protect arts and culture, to protect traditional leadership, to protect our heritage, and also to protect the community. With that model, you won't go wrong, because the House of Monarchs will take care of the land. The Prime Minister and his cabinet will run politics and the economy. They will protect the sovereignty of the country. They will protect the local people on jobs, businesses, and services. So instead of having foreigners coming to South Africa doing jobs that South Africans can do, the Prime Minister will protect the people of South Africa. The Prime Minister will protect the businesses in South Africa, and most importantly, also protect the sovereignty of the country. So he's going to run politics and the economy of the country. So with that kind of a constitutional monarchy, we are going to succeed. Look at so many fights in different kingdoms. Let's talk about these recent fights between the King Misizulu and King Zimakade, the Zulus. We respect them so much. The reason they are fighting is because of politics. Politicians are involved. The issues of succession in a family, they are the responsibility of the family. Let me share with you that the ancestors, sometimes they choose who to succeed the king. So, in other cultures, the elders are planning for the succession. But in other tribes, the ancestors, they are giving guidance in terms of who is going to take over. This is because ancestors, they scrutinize an individual, and they check that this individual will be able to preserve our culture, to preserve, protect, and be an exemplary in our communities. And that's why the ancestors make that choice. So when the two brothers and sisters of Balobedu are fighting for the succession, it is again politicians who are interfering with the process, right? According to their succession, queens will come in, take over the leadership, and from there, once they are no more, the other queens also comes on board. But this thing of the leadership or traditional leadership, people should understand. Sometimes, if you're not doing the right thing, you are not going to get the blessings of the ancestors. And that's where sometimes it's possible that the throne may be moved from one individual to the next, right? So we need to understand distance. Sometimes we are more physical when we do distance, and it is wrong. We shouldn't be physical. We should allow the royal family to guide us in terms of who is the next king, who is the next queen, without the political interference. Because what politicians does, they run to these kingdoms, they come there, they appoint whoever is available to continue to do the administration so that they can continue to dominate and continue to be in charge of the country. And that is wrong. It's interference. The politicians should not interfere. Leave the royal family to deal with royal issues. The royal family will decide who is the right person, because before you become a king or a traditional leader or whatever you may call it, there are processes that need to be followed. You have to visit heritage sites to go get blessings from the ancestors. You had to perform certain rituals. So those are family things. Then why people come in the last hour to just do a simple exercise and say, this is the king or this is the queen? It is purely a lack of understanding. Kingdom issues, traditional leadership issues, and succession is done by the royal family, guided by the ancestors or guided by the elders. In that way, you won't go wrong. So in South Africa, we need the constitutional monarchy to bring all the kings together to form a united kingdom to protect this country from this imminent collapse. We are currently suffering as the people of South Africa, including traditional leaders. People are killed on a daily basis. There are no jobs. There's poor service delivery all over. In many rural areas, there's completely no service. Now, ask yourself, what are these people doing with a budget of minimum 500 million every year? They are taking that into their pockets, and where communities are complaining, they go there and they just perform that one activity, and from there, the rest of the money goes into their pockets. We can finish that through the constitutional monarchy in South Africa. Look at the British, or look at Britain. Britain has done so very well to protect their assets, to protect their land, to protect their arts and culture, their heritage, and also their assets. The prime minister is running politics and the economy, and it's a democratic country. There are no issues. In some countries like Britain, the king appoints the prime minister. There are advantages and disadvantages. Sometimes if you get non-visionary leaders, he will manipulate the process and appoint those that are aligned to them instead of appointing the right candidate. But in a constitutional monarchy, you have options like the party itself filled their own prime minister. So it's a parliamentary process. And because they have numbers, they will be able to vote for that prime minister to take over the leadership as the prime minister of the country. What I also like is the Malaysian model. The United Kingdom, they get what you call a rotation. They rotate. This year, this particular king, it's what you call, it's the chairperson, and the following years, the other one also takes over. And this is what South Africa can adopt. With plus minus 26 kingdoms, what we do, we give them equal powers, equal rights, and so forth. And we select one of them to be the chairperson of the house. Then the chairperson of the house will make sure that there's order and also all the strategic objectives of the House of Monarchs are achieved. Our people are poor. We have to assist them to get out of poverty. We have to pay South Africans a reparation fees for losing the land, for losing the livestock, for losing our loved ones, for losing jobs, and for losing businesses. This is not because people are lazy. This is because of the current political system, which is destroying this country for profit, which has partnered with the imperialists and the captains of the industry to exploit the resources in South Africa. South Africa, with so many minerals, is suffering. In 2020, South Africa was the top supplier of platinum. Who's benefiting? Politicians. We are losing over 100 billion of profit for minerals. Who's benefiting? Politicians. With the constitutional monarchy, we are going to establish the state bank. With the state bank, we will assist people to get out of debt, to build their homes, to buy cars, and also to invest in projects that will take the country forward. So you won't go wrong with the constitutional monarchy that FISA is advocating in South Africa. It's going to benefit the people and, most importantly, give people permanent jobs. Under the constitutional monarchy, nobody will be exploited, because exploitation is a form of slavery. Slavery was abolished in 1834 in South Africa. So it is unfair that the black people in South Africa are still subjected to slavery under this current government. So what we should do, we need minimum 6 million voters to implement the constitutional monarchy. We take SASSA grants back to tribal authorities. We take all minimum 26 kings and queens into the house of traditional leaders, or the house of monarchs, to protect this country against any foreigners, to make sure that the land, minerals, arts and culture, traditional leadership, our heritage, and also the communities are protected. With that motto, freedom is guaranteed. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm saying to you here is that constitutional monarchy is being proven to be the best. Look at the Arab countries. You get a United Arab Emirates. It's absolute monarchy. But the leaders there, they are visionary leaders. They are not selfish. They are helping the people. Look at other countries like Qatar, Dubai, and others. They are also under constitutional monarchies. The minerals in those countries are not helping one person. That's why we've seen in the recent World Cup, the stadium made of gold. This is because that country is rich, and the people there, they are also living a better life. Saudi Arabia is also doing very well. New Zealand, Canada, Belgium, they also implemented constitutional monarchies. The kings are not interfering with the parliamentary processes. The kings are responsible to perform their key functions under the House of Monarchs at the national level, at the provincial level, and also at the regional level. What is interesting here is that the budget from the municipality is allocated per community. 4 to 8 million rents every year. It goes into different communities, different villages. This is to make sure that people get water. We build internal roads, we build parks, we establish multi-purpose sports facilities, we establish waste management system, we build community gardens, and many other things. We build churches, we build libraries, we build clinics. So this money is too much. So the constitutional monarchy is what the people of South Africa need than any other thing. All these political parties, they are talking about systems, but they are failing to deal with this key issue. The land belongs to the indigenous people, traditional leaders, and their communities. You can't say you nationalize the land. If you nationalize the land, you are destroying traditional leaders. But again, if you nationalize the land, who's going to be in charge? The politicians. What will stop politicians from selling the land? Nobody. So you are taking us backwards. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm presenting to you the best model that will help the people of South Africa. Tender jobs, we convert them into permanent jobs. I'm talking minimum 5 million tender jobs. The unproductive land we take under the kingdoms, and we are going to reinvest on that land to make sure that there's food stability in the country, to make sure that the government also compete in the agricultural sector. We are going to, as I said, we are going to establish the state bank to also compete. We are going to establish major retail shops also to compete, to make sure that the food that we produce from our agricultural land, it goes into our retail shops. That will employ our people. That will also make sure that we supply fresh food to our people. With that model, you can now have this problem of too many foreign spaza shops importing goods, some expired goods into our country to cause problem. It is unfair that under this ruling party, we are destroyed in every aspect of our lives. We can't compete. Look at the state-owned enterprises. They are all collapsing. Look at the money that we are losing for electricity, over 80 billion. That money can make a huge difference to the people of South Africa. So I'm saying to you, the people of South Africa, support FISA, support kingdoms to implement constitutional monarchy. We need minimum 6 million voters to take over this country and make sure that we protect our people on jobs, businesses, and services. We are also going to protect qualifications. We need people with minimum master's degree to become ministers. We advertised about 30 ministry positions, including the Ministry of Churches. We have to regulate churches. We are tired of people taking advantage of our people to feed them detours, to feed them snakes, to feed them nonsense. We are tired of that. So, under the kingdoms, we are going to have that ministry of churches to make sure that we protect traditional churches that are complying, that are doing everything accordingly. As we do that, there will be freedom in South Africa. We are also going to establish the Ministry of Sports to make sure that we nurture talent from the grassroots level. Ministry of Arts and Culture will separate from sports, because arts and culture is also very big. We have to separate them so that each and every entity can focus on its key functions. We will also establish the Ministry of Emergency Services to make sure that we protect our people when there are emergencies, when there are disasters, and when there are other incidents that are disrupting our lives. This is the best model that will yield better result. SASSA payments back to tribal authorities. Those who are killing innocent people, capital punishment. Those who are harassing our people with other criminal activities, harsher sentences to make sure that we keep this country free. Drugs, we are going to finish. Drug dealers, we will terminate to make sure that they don't exist in our communities. So, this is the best model for a progressive country to position South Africa as a global competitor, to make South Africa a safe country to live in. This thing of guns every day, look, we are going to finish that as the kings. All traditional leaders are rising. All religious leaders are rising. Let's support FISA to establish the United Kingdom and implement the constitutional monarchy. If you look at the nature of the constitutional monarchy, it uses the hybrid system: socialism, communism, Africanism, and spiritualism. Because Africans by nature, we are connected with the nature. So that connection will always be there. And we are refusing to be buried alive. Traditional leaders, traditional healers, I'm talking traditional healers and faith healers, we are going to integrate under the Department of Health, including home-based carers, community police forums, early childhood development centers. We are going to integrate in their respective department as well, education, and also under the Ministry of Police. With that model, we are super. Reservists, we are going to employ permanently. No more exploitation. We are going to beef up capacity of all the government departments to provide 24/7 professional services. With that model, all the graduates will have jobs. Skills programs we will implement will make sure that non-matriculants, we take them into skills programs to produce many of the items that we are using in the market. This is what the Chinese have done. Those graduates without skills, we will make sure that we empower them. Some of them will put in different government departments to prepare for succession. I'm talking military, police, correctional services, and nursing, fire, emergency services, and so forth, to make sure that we shadow all the government departments. With this model, you won't go wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, constitutional monarchy is the best, especially since you share power with the government. The judiciary will perform their own function. Legislature will perform their own function. The monarchs will also perform their own functions. As easy as a pie. We are going to pay all the beneficiaries a reparation fees. This is because the people of South Africa suffered for so many years, for over 300 years, and now under this current government for over 29 years. Enough, it's enough. The kingdoms are taking over South Africa in 2024 elections. We are saying, support us, join us on 071 0099 876. We are going to support all of you. You will have access for the land. You will have access for water and many of these challenges. Most importantly, there will be jobs, there will be stability. Foreigners who are destroying South Africa with the drugs, lousy businesses, and other criminal activities, they must pack their bags. We are going to send them back to their home countries. This is what every country is doing to protect their own country and to make sure that there's stability in the country. As things stands, our safety is compromised in this country, and we should never accept that. That's why we are rising up as the kings of this country, kings and queens, and we are going to take over. The ball is in your court. You support the kingdoms or you continue to suffer. There are probabilities that somewhere next year there may be a big fight that will erupt amongst ourselves. As the kings, we are going to fight all that. We are going to make sure that there's no one that will manipulate our people and arm them to kill each other. We are going to fight all that. So we are saying to South Africans, be vigilant. We are saying to the youth of this country, be vigilant. Circulating these messages of foreigners saying this and that is not helping us. These people are protected under this current government. Kingdoms are going to protect foreigners who are complying with our laws. Those that are not complying, we are going to show them the border. They are going to be deported back to their countries. And we are not only referring to our black brothers and sisters. We are referring to there are white foreigners here, there are Indian foreigners, there are Somalians, Ethiopians, Nigerians, and many others. So we are referring to everyone who is not originally from South Africa. Let's unite. Let's support each other. South Africa has got about 26, minimum 26 kings and queens. We have to support them to protect the land, to protect minerals, to protect arts and culture, to protect our heritage, to protect traditional leadership, and to protect our communities. And by doing that, we will be able to achieve freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hoshi, General Ntai Munye. Thank you so much. God bless you.